I will briefly present about Majlis Bandaraya Shah Alam or MBSA and its effort in digital governance. MBSA is a city council responsible for Shah Alam, serving around 605,000 residents. It manages areas like development, health, sanitation, and environment. The council also supports sustainability through its low-carbon city action planning for 2030. To improve public service and engagement, MBSA is using digital technology. Its main goals are to enhance citizen participation, to ensure transparency, and to provide efficient service. Two key digital initiatives are Smart Queue that launched in January 2025, which helps to speed up the document process and reduce paperwork. And the other one is My MBSA, a mobile app that allows us to easily make bill payments and renew our license or book service.
Next, I'll be presenting a digital service analysis based on my observation of Majlis Bandaraya Shah Alam MBSA digital services, focusing on citizen-centric service delivery. Let's begin with the evaluation based on several important criteria. Firstly, is multilingual support. MBSA scores 1 out of 2. The websites offer Bahasa Malaysia and English only, but unfortunately, it does not include local languages such as Tamil or Mandarin. This limits access for non-Malay and non-English speakers. As Malaysia is a multicultural country, providing more language options would promote inclusivity. Secondly, disability access. MBSA scored 2 out of 2. The website is screen reader compatible with altered text on images and text resizing features. This shows strong support for users with disabilities, allowing them to navigate the site with ease. Thirdly, mobile responsiveness at MBSA also scores 2 out of 2. The website is fully functional across all mobile devices, including smartphones, tablets, and laptops. This ensures that users can access services conveniently regardless of device they are using. Fourthly, offline alternative, another 2 out of 2 score here. MBSA still provide offline option like physical service kiosks and phone support. This is important for the elderly or those without internet access, ensuring a hybrid approach that includes all demographic. Fifthly is intuitive navigation. Here, MBSA score only 1 out of 2. Some key services require more 3-click to access. This makes it less user-friendly and could frustrate users who want to quick access to specific services. Sixthly is clear instruction. MBSA also gets 1 out of 2 here. There are no clear step-by-step guides for online transaction, which could confuse first-time or digital less literate users. For seventh, feedback mechanism. MBSA scores 2 out of 2. The portals offer e-aduan, a compare and feedback portal. This shows that MBSA is trying hard to improve its services through users' feedback. 8 is end-to digital services, again 2 out of 2. Users can complete core services like compound payments and license renewal fully online. This is perfect for today's fast-paced lifestyle, saving time and reducing the need for in-person visits. 9 is 24/7 availability. MBSA scores 2 out of 2. The online portal is available 24/7, giving users the freedom to access services anytime without waiting for office hours. Lastly is AI chatbot support. Unfortunately, MBSA scored 0 out of 2 here. There are no automated responses or chatbot support available. This slows down the service process, and MBSA should consider implementing AI tool to enhance users' experience.
Now I'll be presenting the evaluation under the democratic participation and public values. This section focuses on how well the MBSA involve each citizen in governance, transparency, and decision making. I'll be going through several categories, highlighting their scores and explaining the reasoning behind each evaluation. The first category that we will look is open data portals, which look at whether important data set like budgets or project plans are available for download. Okay, here the MBSA scores 0 for the open data portals. Why? Because there is no downloadable data set were found, which shows a lack of transparency and accountability. When citizens can't access this data, it's become difficult to monitor spending or understand how decisions are made. Next, we will move to the second category, which we have meeting minutes published. The MBSA also scores 0 in this category because none of the council decision or policy draft were made public. Keeping this information private limits the public's ability to know what's being discussed or decided. It also makes it hard to hold officials accountable. The third category is public officials contact. The MBSA score 1 in this category. Only a few departments share contact details. Meanwhile, many important officials didn't provide any direct contact info, which create communications gaps between citizens and the authorities. Next category that we will look is under performance metrics. The MBSA score 1 as well. Some limited information was available, like general KPIs. However, important metrics such as how quickly complaints are resolved or how the budget is used were not shared in the details. Next category is public consultation and participatory budgeting. Both received a 0 marks. Public consultation gets 0 because there was no online platform like e-town hall for citizens to give feedback on policies. This means people have no opportunities to be a part of the decision or suggest improvements. Participatory budgeting also gets 0 because citizens were not allowed to propose or vote on how the budget should be spent. Involving the public in budgeting can build trust and collective responsibility, so this was a big missed opportunity. Finally, the last category is crowdsourcing solution. MBSA score 1 in this category. The city used feedback form to collect suggestions from citizens. This is a positive step, but more effort needed to make the platform inclusive and accessible to all people. To conclude, the overall performance in the democratic participation and public value, I can say that it is quite weak because out of 7 categories that I've been saying, only 3 score 1 and the rest score 0. This show a clear need for improvement in public transparency, communication and citizen engagement in the Majlis Bandaraya Shah Alam.
Next, for the digital governance and Islamic values, for the privacy and policy clarified category, MBSA scored only 1 point because MBSA stated the data in general form only, which lack of specific clauses which are actually essential that in line with Islamic ethical amanah or trust. Secondly, for the cybersecurity measure, MBSA scored 2 points because the use of HTTPS shows that MBSA is serious about protecting user from fraud. Next, for the transaction audit logs, MBSA also scored 2 points, which is once online payment has been made, the digital receipt will be provided as a confirmation. Next, for the equal access, MBSA also scored 2 points because the service equally provided for everyone, which there is no requirement for special approval or priority status. Next, fee transparency also has been practiced perfectly in MBSA, which is all the list of fees stated clearly. For example, for standard online businesses, the application processing fee does not being charges and around 200 ringgit per year for the business license. Next, for the online dispute resolution, MBSA doesn't get any score because it doesn't practice it perfectly, because it does not offer any reason to appeal unfair decision. Next, for the community feedback impact, MBSA also did not gain any score because no public feedback appeal in the policy even though E-Aduan is provided. And lastly, for the stakeholder partnership, MBSA score 1 point because MBSA has partnered with local groups like UITM and NGO such as for the Smart City Seminar, but these collaborations are infrequent and not really integrated into its planning.
Technical and performance MBSA website shows a solid technical performance overall, but there are some areas that need attention. Firstly, the uptime is excellent. It estimates at 99.9% over the last 3 months, which means the site is reliable and available. However, the page load speed is concerning. While the desktop version is decent at 2.9 seconds, the mobile speed is much slower at 6.1 seconds, which could discourage users from accessing service from their phone. In terms of accessibility, we found issues using the Wave tool, such as low contrast text and message URL labels, especially in the complaint forms. These made it harder for visual impaired users to interact with the site. Lastly, we tested a major service like E-Aduan, E-Cukai, and E-Lesen. While the work, we encouraged some CAPTCHA errors and profile uploads feedbacks, which could frustrate users. In short, the technical foundation is stable, but there are room to improve mobile performance, accessibility, and error handling. Qualitative observant, looking at the user experience, MBSA digital services are functional, but the layout and structure of the website could be more intuitive. Some menus are hard to navigate, which can delay users trying to access the service. In terms of public trust, feedback is mixed. Some users appreciate an available service, but others report slow response to complaints and lack of the follow-up. This affects on how people's perspective on the council responsiveness. When it comes to innovation, the website mostly uses basic tools to smart system like intensive feature. There are great potential in moving here by adding things like chatbox or real-time status tracking. Lastly, in comparison to other consoles, MBSA performs better than the smaller ones like MDHS, but still lags behind the bigger player like MBPJ, especially in terms of digital integration and service. So overall, MBSA has a strong base but needs a modularization and optimize it better citizen experience.
Now, let's take a close look at some of the challenges and limitations faced by Majlis Bandaraya Shah Alam in its journey towards becoming a smart city. While MBSA has taken a commendable step to implement smart city initiatives, there are several obstacles. First, let's talk about the lack of AI or chatbot support on MBSA's digital platform. Without any form of automated assistant, users are left without a quick answer to frequently asked questions or help with online services. This becomes especially frustrating outside of the working hours when no real-time human support is available. Improving the user experience should be a priority, and AI chatbot could really help bridge that gap. Next, MBSA doesn't have a centralized open data portal. What does that mean? It means that important documents like budget reports, planning updates, and annual summaries are not easily accessible to the public. That's not only limits transparency, but it also reduces the public's ability to engage in a local decision making. This problem might be due to a lack of policy, insufficient infrastructure, or limited investment in the technology to support such a system. Other than that, the challenges and the limitation is MBSA does not make minutes of board meeting or policy draft available to the public. This makes it hard for the resident to understand what decisions are being made, what proposals are being discussed, or how certain policies are developed. Without access to these documents, transparency and accountability are weakened. A key reason might be the lack of standard policies that require this record to be actively published.
Furthermore, MBSA lacks a formal online dispute resolution system, thus preventing the users from appealing matters such as rejected application requests or incorrect funds. The absence of this system does not help ensure administrative justice or help establish public confidence in the system. Similarly, the lack of a more efficient online system to report urgent infrastructure issues such as potholes or faulty streetlights mean that it takes longer to fix the issues, which put public safety at risk. This problem might due to the lack of legal framework or the challenges that come with developing a system that is secure. Finally, the digital assessment found that there is not an organizational capacity to integrate community feedback in the policy decision-making process of MBSA. Although feedback may be gathered through surveys or complaints, there is a little evidence it is systematically examined or used to inform service improvement or policy decision. This gap may suppress public participation if citizens do not believe it makes a difference. The root cause appears to be a lack of tool and process to analyze and incorporate feedback into a continuous improvement program. To better incorporate community feedback in decision-making, MBSA should create a responsive, transparent, and formalized feedback management process.
Islamic perspective, Majlis Bandaraya Shah MBSA has increasingly embraced digital governance to enhance service delivery and public engagement. The transition to digital governance at MBSA matches several important Islamic values including justice, transparency, and public interest. MBSA demonstrates justice, which is ideal through its initiative to offer equal digital access to services for every resident, regardless of their background. The lack of digital access prevents citizens from fully participating in society according to the principle of social exclusion. The inability to access fundamental services and government information and civic engagement platforms result in social isolation and marginalization of affected citizens. Through online platform for permit application and public complaint and payment system, MBSA provides citizens with equal treatment and non-discriminatory services. This can be seen in the part which MBSA provided equal access to all citizens that wants to seek their services. Next, transparency and trustworthiness also has been merely practiced through MBSA digital portal and mobile apps. Fee transparency was stated clearly without any hidden charges with clear payment background. For example, for standard online businesses, the application processing fee does not being charges and RM200 per year for the business's license. There are no hidden charges which uphold trustworthiness. This clear payment breakdown fulfill Islamic obligation of trust. Also, the implementation of smart services such as e-parking, digital waste tracking, and environmental monitoring service to broader public interest. This innovation aims to improve quality of life and ensure the governance benefits the community as a whole, which emphasize action that promote the welfare and benefits of the community by preserving essential values such as life, property, and the environment. This innovation improve quality of life, enhance efficiency, and reduce harm, thereby fulfilling the Islamic obligation to pursue the common goods and ensure the governance serve the collective well-being according to Sharia. For example, MBSA offers free street parking for senior citizens, which is 60 years old and above. This shows that maslahah has been practiced in MBSA. Overall, MBSA digital governance initiative demonstrate a meaningful application of Islamic values in public administration. However, they can still improve by making their services more inclusive and helping more people like old folks and unfamiliar one with technology person to understand how to use digital tools.
To conclude, Majlis Bandaraya Shah MBSA has made a strong process in digital governance. Tools like My MBSA app, the smart queue system, and online payment service has improved service delivery, made process faster, and increased public access. These efforts also reflect on Islamic values like justice, transparency, and public goods. However, there are still key challenges. Public consultation is limited, there are no AI chat box support, and open data sharing is minimal. Online distribution resolution is weak, and the public feedback rarely influence the policy. To move forward, MBSA should create more platforms for public participation, to introduce the chat box or AI support, to expand the open data intensively, and to connect to the public feedback directly to the policy making. With this improvement, MBSA can become more transparent, inclusively, and trusted city council.